According to United Nations projections, by the year 2100, a notable population decrease will be observed across European countries, with the exception of one. This downward trend has already commenced in 17 European nations, and if we account for minor population increases due to immigration, it is apparent that this decline encompasses the majority of European countries. This video will delve into the official statistics provided by the UN and EUROSTAT to examine the factors contributing to this gradual reduction in population. Furthermore, we will uncover which European country is expected to witness population growth by the century's end, as forecasted by the United Nations. Country number 10. Bulgaria. The country's demographic challenges are clear. It faces high death rates, low birth rates, and a considerable number of citizens moving abroad. The birth rate in Bulgaria stands at 8.15 per 1,000 people, which does not offset the death rate of 18 per 1,000 people, marking Bulgaria as the nation with the highest death rate within the European Union. Circulatory system diseases and cancer are responsible for 82% of deaths in Bulgaria, with healthcare professionals repeatedly warning that smoking and alcohol consumption are major contributors to these fatalities. Despite Bulgarian women having one of the youngest average ages for childbirth in Europe, the country struggles with emigration. An increasing number of Bulgarians are relocating in pursuit of better prospects. In 2019, the country saw around 40,000 people emigrate, contrasting with 13,000 immigrants and 9,000 returnees, culminating in a 10.3% decrease in Bulgaria's population over the preceding 12 years. Country number 9. Romania has seen its population shrink by 13.3% in recent years, a trend that accelerated after its accession to the European Union, which led to a significant number of Romanians relocating overseas. Currently, it is estimated that about 5,500,000 Romanians reside in foreign countries, with Italy and Germany hosting around 2 million of these expatriates. The roots of this emigration wave trace back to 1989, following the collapse of Nicolae Ceausescu's communist regime, a period marked by a courageous public uprising that culminated in Ceausescu's execution on Christmas Day. Despite the fall of the regime, the lingering socioeconomic issues drove numerous Romanians to seek a better life abroad. Romania does experience a higher birth rate compared to Bulgaria, yet it suffers from a similar issue of high mortality, with around 15.4 deaths per 1,000 people attributed to the same health concerns as in Bulgaria. Country number 8. Adjacent to Romania, both in geography and this enumeration, is Moldova. This small country has witnessed a staggering 40% reduction in its populace over the past 3 decades. The United Nations forecasts an additional 38.6% population decline by the century's end, placing Moldova's demographic future in jeopardy. While Moldovans will continue to exist, they are increasingly doing so outside their homeland due to a massive emigration rate. Annually, about 150,000 Moldovans, predominantly the youth, leave the country and approximately 100,000 return, usually older individuals who have amassed some wealth. According to Moldovan journalist Vitalie Ciobanu, the effects of depopulation are evident just 50 kilometers from the capital, where one can find abandoned villages, decaying farms, schools in ruins, and homes in disrepair, painting a bleak picture of the demographic challenges Moldova faces. Country number 7. Bosnia and Herzegovina have seen a significant population decline of 15% over the last 12 years, with the United Nations identifying it as facing the highest risk of population reduction in the long run. By 2100, it is projected that the country will witness a further loss of 49.4% of its inhabitants, marking it as the most rapidly depopulating country by century's end. High levels of emigration, particularly among the youth and skilled professionals, are a major concern, as it results in the loss of vital contributors to national recovery. This, coupled with one of the globe's lowest fertility rates due to a decreasing young population and limited child-rearing opportunities, underscores the challenges Bosnia and Herzegovina faces in bouncing back from the aftermath of the Balkan conflict, which officially ended with the Dayton Agreement in 1995. Country number 6. Croatia stands out as the most economically recovered nation among those involved in the Balkan conflict, boasting a per capita GDP significantly surpassing that of Bosnia and Herzegovina by $10,000. Despite its economic strides, Croatia has not been spared from population decline, losing approximately 770,000 people, or nearly 17% of its populace in the past decade. This decline is notable not just in rural areas but also in urban centers, distinguishing Croatia from its neighbors. A critical housing shortage, particularly for affordable living options for the younger generation, alongside a job market that fails to meet the needs of young families, are cited as principal causes of both emigration and the country's low birth rate. However, a recent turn of events has seen an increase in immigration driven by job opportunities in the tourism industry, leading to a milestone in 2023 where the influx of immigrants, predominantly from Nepal, exceeded the number of emigrants for the first time in 15 years. Country number 5. Lithuania's demographic scenario features a relatively better birth rate compared to earlier discussed countries, but it struggles with a high mortality rate of 15.6 per 1,000 individuals. The country's life expectancy growth has been sluggish by global standards, largely attributed to alcohol misuse, obesity, and high suicide rates. About one-third of Lithuanian men face serious problems related to alcohol, leading to a higher incidence of road accidents and cardiovascular diseases. Furthermore, over 60% of adults in Lithuania are overweight, which elevates the risk of cardiovascular complications and strokes, the latter being the second most common cause of death. Suicide represents a critical issue, with its roots tracing back to the post-Soviet era's vast social and economic transformations. Although suicide rates have declined since peaking in 1995, Lithuania still records the highest figures within the UNOAC countries. Limited access to mental health services exacerbates this issue, compounded by the nation's healthcare system suffering from one of the lowest levels of public healthcare investment in Europe. Over the past 12 years, Lithuania has seen a population decline of 17.5%. Country number 4. Ukraine's situation, exacerbated by the conflict with Russia that escalated with the invasion on February 24, 2022, has understandably led to a significant emigration wave. This conflict, building since 2014, precipitated Europe's largest refugee crisis since World War II. Prior to the conflict, Ukraine was already experiencing a demographic decline, with a birth rate of 9.23 per 1,000 people and a pre-war mortality rate of 14.3 per 1,000. The country has been facing challenges similar to Lithuania, including high mortality, low birth rates, and extensive emigration, resulting in an 18.2% population decrease from 2010 to 2022. Projections suggest a 40.7% reduction in the Ukrainian population by 2100. Like Lithuania, suicide is a significant concern, with the issue accounting for 1.7% of all deaths in 2020. Cardiovascular diseases and strokes remain the leading causes of death, constituting 64% of mortality in Ukraine, further paralleling the health challenges faced by Lithuania. Country number 3. Over the last 12 years, Latvia has experienced a substantial population decline of 20%, with projections by EUROSTAT indicating a potential 40% reduction by the end of the century unless current trends are reversed. Despite significant advancements since its departure from the Soviet Union, which have somewhat decelerated emigration to Western Europe, a considerable number of Latvians continue to seek opportunities abroad. To combat youth emigration and stimulate job creation, the Latvian government has established trade partnerships with Beijing, leading to an influx of Chinese immigrants. With these efforts, Latvia aims to boost its economy and offer better prospects for its youth, becoming a new hub for immigration with immigrants, including many from China, comprising about 14% of its population. Latvia's mortality rates mirror those of Lithuania, with a notable gender disparity in life expectancy. Men live about 10 years less than women, a gap significantly wider than the European Union's average of 5 years, attributed to higher cancer rates and a tendency among Latvian men to neglect health concerns. Country number 2. Albania, meanwhile, has witnessed an economic upswing largely fueled by the tourism sector, distancing itself from the impoverished image of the 1990s. Aimed at becoming the new Portugal for tourism and attracting affluent international retirees, Albania still grapples with the legacy of its past. Between 2010 and 2022, the population decreased by 21%, with projections suggesting a further 35.5% reduction by 2100 if prevailing conditions persist. Albania's emigration rates remain high, with one of the world's largest diasporas. Despite improvements, poverty remains prevalent, especially in rural areas, leading to widespread disillusionment among the youth regarding their future prospects in the country. The government has initiated incentives to lure young Albanians back home, including a €5,000 bonus and tax exemptions. Yet these measures have yet to achieve the desired impact. Before revealing the top country on this list, if you like the video, we invite you to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We are preparing some new deep dives into historical and geopolitical matters. Country number 1. From 2010 to 2022, Serbia experienced a dramatic population decrease of nearly 27%, losing about 2,500,000 residents. This places Serbia among the countries with the oldest populations globally, and according to United Nations forecasts, it is expected to be one of 5 nations, alongside Bulgaria, Ukraine, Latvia, and Lithuania, to lose a fifth of their population by 2050. However, Bosnia and Herzegovina is anticipated to face the steepest decline by 2100. While Serbia's mortality rate is high, it is not the highest observed, and its birth rate, though low at 8.74 births per 1,000 people, is not the lowest in Europe. The primary cause of Serbia's population decline is migration, driven not just by the pursuit of better employment and salaries, but by a deep-seated disillusionment with political and social transitions. This disillusionment fosters a sense of instability and a lack of future prospects within Serbia, prompting young individuals to seek opportunities abroad where they can make long-term life plans. Contrastingly, Iceland stands out as the sole European country projected to witness population growth by 2100, according to the United Nations. From 2010 to 2022, Iceland's population already increased by approximately 24%, partly due to immigration, with immigrants making up 16.3% of its population. However, the native Icelandic population is also growing, evidenced by the country's birth rate of 13.12 births per 1,000 people, surpassing its death rate of 6.5 per 1,000 people. Predictions indicate that Iceland's indigenous population will grow by 8.8% by the end of the century, even without considering migration. If you like the video, please like and comment. Your feedback